Hey people, I decided to do this little video today about the decans and what they represent from my perspective, from my plane of understanding. Um, okay, to understand the decans, you have to understand how the zodiac is formed. It's a cycle, right? Cycle is, or circle is a 360 degrees. There are 12 signs, so every sign is 30 degrees in itself. The sun moves at about like a 1 degree a day, around that, because there's 360 degrees, 365 days. Okay, there are 3 signs of each element. So there are 4 sets of signs, there are 4 elements. Let's start with Aries, the fire sign. So there's Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. If you want to see what the decans in Aries are, you would see that the first is always the decan. The first 10 degrees of Aries out of the 30 degrees are always represented by the old sign. So the first decan of Aries is Aries. The second decan of Aries is the following fire sign, because Aries is a fire sign. It's the following fire sign in this cycle. So it's Leo. The second decan of Aries is Leo, and the third is Sagittarius. So cool, but what does that mean? This is like from my own plane of understanding. I haven't read a book about the decans, but I know like they're planetary rulership, so I can kind of, I like to read them as a story. Let's say let's do the whole cycle like that. So Aries, in the first decan, it's like ruled by Mars, so it kind of has the Aries energy like it doubled in a way. It's really it's more primal. I feel like it's really the first little spark of light. So maybe these people will have like more bursts of energy, or planets that are there will burst with energy, and like the energy will dissipate more quickly. And as the cycle goes on, and as Aries learns to control his fire in Leo, because Leo is this constant fire, this stable fire, as he learns to create his sense of an ego after having understood his body in the decan of Mars and Aries before, now he creates like his ego, so his sun. And when it goes into the third decan, Aries learns not only to make his fire constant, but he learns how to control it and reduce it, and kind of shine a light on certain things. After that, you got Taurus. The first decan of Taurus is Venus. So it kind of rules like with harmony and understanding through the senses. After that, the second decan is the decan of Virgo. So it's ruled by Mercury. So planets that are there will be more inclined to look into details, or try to communicate the energy that's in there, and in a practical way. And at the same time, it'll have the lesson from the beginning of Taurus, so they'll be able to say it in a harmonious way, or they'll understand their needs and their values, or they'll be able to beautify their speech. And their job will be to be more inclined with details and be able to communicate it and show it with others. And the third decan, it's the decan of Capricorn. The third decan of Taurus is Capricorn. So it deals more with making a structure out of the beauty and communication and the details that have been taken care of in the first 2 decans. So the third decan is more about creating the structure and creating what their common sense is, what their values are. They're more about maybe more about obtaining status in the physical plane, or they're more conscious of the time at hand before, the time that's needed to have possessions, and the time that's needed to accumulate a sense of security. And Gemini. So in Gemini, the first decan is Mercury. So it's a very communicative decan. They're understanding and maybe more curious than the other two decan. They're understanding how the mind works in humans and how they can like relate to others through the mind, and how they can use their mind to like survive, you know, to like work this shit out in this physical plane. And the second decan of Gemini is ruled by Venus, because it's the decan of Libra. So they're, you know, you could see it in their eyes, like they could have like more Libran eyes, like bigger, wider eyes that are like kind of beautiful, you know. And they're more about one-on-one relationships, or like relating to others through like their well, it depends what energy is in there, but it's more about you know, relating energies to others, or like balancing them, making sure they're harmonious, and beautifying the mind, or beautifying their communication. And the third decan of Gemini is the decan of Aquarius. So it's ruled by both Saturn and Uranus. So they're more about like let me drink a bit of water while I think about that. Perhaps they're more about like linking up with people far away, or like being able to like break the mold and create a new spark in consciousness, and try to move things forward in a little bit, and like probably a little bit more intuitive, or understanding more from a source perspective, since they come from they come from the Aquarius decan in there. So it gives them a little bit more structure in their thought, and it makes them able to like rebel and break the mold. Next, so Cancer, the first decan of Cancer is really sensitive, right? It's ruled by the moon, so they're very little fragile beings, but also really strong at the same time, you know, because they've got a power that moves the tides, you know. They're able to like feel things and nurture people and see what emotional needs people have, and kind of like work with that and heal others and themselves. They're very intuitive and psychic beings. The second decan is ruled by Mars and Pluto. It's the decan of Scorpio, so they're probably more of maybe like they like to initiate things, you know. Okay, Cancer is the cardinal sign, so this decan, like it has a little bit more energy, since it's linked to Scorpio also. So maybe they could be more of a you know, they could like to see into people's bullshit. They could like to delve into what emotionally like triggers people. They could deal with the fakeness of others. They could like they'll have this scorpion energy to their Cancer being, you know. They'll be able to like see like not only feel for themselves like what the waters are like, but like see through the water, you know, clearly, in a way. The third decan of Cancer is the decan of Neptune, or Jupiter. So it deals more with the dissolving of consciousness, the dissolving of boundaries. Like perhaps they're more, you know, Neptunian, more etheric in their like aura or something like that, you know. The way they could deal, the way they could relate to others, and the way they could relate to the world could be like more in like a selfless kind of nurturing way, you know. They would have like this ability to like not only feel emotions for the ones they love, but also for like the whole of consciousness, you know. It's this Neptunian quality. Leo. Okay, so the first decan of Leo is the sun, so it deals a lot with their identity and how like the whole world revolves around them. Like it's a really shiny energy, you know, and it's constant, and they like you know, they naturally have that. They're always a shining light like that. So perhaps the second decan, which is ruled by Sagittarius or Jupiter, they would learn how to control that fire a little bit, like make it like more powerful, reduce it, kind of like play with their identity like that, not always be the center of attention, you know, kind of like aim for like what the higher mind wants, so follow that more. Sometimes it can be like this big shining light, or they can remove it also. The third decan is the one of Aries or Mars, so it deals more probably with a burst of energy or working their vitality through their body, you know. Next, Virgo. The first decan of Virgo is like Mercury, so it deals a lot with their practicality and like communicating and like understanding relationships, you know, one-on-one, maybe not one-on-one, but like understanding like how details are taken care of, and like making ideas about how things are, you know, and like categorizing things. And the second decan would be Saturn, because it's the decan of Capricorn. So they would implement that, you know, they would make a structure out of it, they would gain status from it, you know, they would be able to like create something in the physical world in that decan. The third decan is the decan of Taurus, so it's the decan of Venus, so they would learn how to harmonize what they've created and learn to beautify it, you know. And you could put like any planet in there and see how their energy like plays in there, you know. First decan of Libra, let me drink a little bit more water. First decan of Libra is ruled by Venus, so it deals a lot with like how they're cooperative, how they like to make sure things are fair, how they balance things, you know. The second decan of Libra is the decan of Aquarius, so perhaps like when they've learned how to balance things, they now know like how they could break the mold and like still keep a certain balance. They probably want to know how people will relate to that, or like how they can like how fascinating the interactions in the mind are, because like they could just change something, or they could like try to shock people in a certain way, and like it still would be in balance, you know. The third decan of Libra is the decan of Gemini. So once they've seen the balance for what it is in Venus, once they've like understood how they could break the mold, and like what isn't like eternal, like what is only like part of the times now, and what could be changed in like Aquarius, now they're in the decan of Gemini. So yeah, they're a lot about communicating that and being able to like spread the knowledge, you know, and what they've like seen in the world and what they've analyzed, and like through that also they can act on that Mercury quality that has understood like how you can relate to others. So you know, they could like make, you know, they know how to deal with people. The eighth sign now, so it's Scorpio. The first decan of Scorpio, you know, is Mars and Pluto. So they're internal beings, maybe more physical and more fiery, you know, like they could have like bursts of energy. They're about the body, and maybe more so the connecting the lower self with the higher self. The second decan of Scorpio is the Scorpio of Pisces. So they're about like, they're still like this penetrating force that Scorpio is, but they're also able to be this yin force, or you know, they're able to kind of detach a part of themselves and put it in their surroundings, and like have this Neptunian magical quality to them, you know. There might be a little bit like have a weaker composure, like a smaller body than the definitely the first decan, and probably the second too, and the third. I mean, the second probably has a weaker composure than the third, and even more so than the first one. And the third decan is the decan of Cancer. So they're a lot more sensitive. They've been able to be considerate of like other people's emotion, because they've been able to like penetrate into where they were in the first decan and relate from the second decan, and have like this detached, selfless aspect to things from the second decan. And the third decan enables them to like nurture and make sure that like the cycles of life are taken care of, you know. Pluto has its cycles also, but so does the moon. Ninth sign. It's the first decan is the decan of Sagittarius, Jupiter. They're a lot about probably understanding the first sense of belief, understanding how they could relate in the physical world with their higher minds, because Jupiter is the higher mind. How like their belief system kind of acts on the physical plane on their life, you know. In the second decan, it's ruled by Mars, Aries, so they're more about like understanding how this energy in their body could be used, and how like they've understood their higher mind in the first decan, so perhaps the second is how they could implement that in their Mars aspect, their body, their sexuality also maybe. A third decan is the decan of Leo. It's how they could always be shining, always have like this identity that has respected the higher mind, the Jupiterian aspect or ideals of themselves, and the body Mars aspects of themselves, you know, how they could be that sun that's always there, you know, that's able to light arrows for people and shoot them, so they inspire people perhaps. Next one is Capricorn. So the first decan of Capricorn is Saturn. You know, it's a lot about protecting themselves emotionally maybe, but like you know, having this common sense and this sense of structure as to how like things should be. It's like understanding how you could implement things, since you see them from like you're able to see the whole of like an organization or like a project in the physical world, you know. Like you might be also able to see it in the emotional world, but maybe you put a hold on that. The second decan of Capricorn is Venus. So they're a lot about like beautifying things and refining their structure and making it relatable to others, perhaps making it pleasing to the eye, you know. Venus rules like I think Venus rules marketing. I'm just freestyling that, but I'd say Venus rules marketing, because it attracts you for gratification of your senses, you know. So they could be able to do that in the second decan. They learn how to like relate to others and beautify stuff from the Taurian, and probably how to like make it so like make things that are pleasurable like for the physical senses, you know. And the third decan of this Capricornian sign is Virgo. So Virgo is Mercury, is the mind, you know. It's perhaps being able to being able to, like, I want to say that, be that business person that has understood the structures, that has understood how to refine them and what pleases people, and they can kind of like have this dual Mercurian Virgo quality there, you know, that enables them to be able to deal with people and like they've understood like what pleases people, so you know they can like show something, keep something in the back of their mind, and they get like, they're able to make good trades out of that. First decan of Aquarius is Saturn and Uranus. So it deals with like the structures of things and revolutionizing them. You know, they're out there. You know, they like to break the mold. They like to shock people, and it's like they're able to build their knowledge and build their common sense out of how and what shocks people. You know, second decan of Aquarius is Gemini's. It's Mercury, so it's about communicating that, like being able to like master the speech. You know, they have this Saturn aspect already mastered, so now they're able to like master the more curious mind, you know, the one that doesn't care as much about like how things are. Like it asks questions, it's curious, it's like it looks around. You know, it could be a, you know, a more playful, more flirty, like more, you know, like a little current of wind. It's like phew. Whereas the first decan is more. And a third decan is the decan of Libra. So they perhaps learn like how to beautify that. They learn how to please people out of like how they've learned how to shock and how they've learned how to be playful. Now they learn how to please people. They learn how to make things harmonious, how to make people relate, how to really gather people around, you know. Link them up together. First decan of Pisces is Mercury. No, that's my Mercury. Speaking of, see, that's what Mercury does. It makes you, Mercury in Pisces, it makes you say things that are linked to your emotions. I was just relating to my chart. But the first decan of Pisces is the one that removes boundaries. So that's kind of funny. Like it deals with your belief system, and it deals with like kind of like your service to others, or like your divine love. It enables you to like break the boundaries of like what's in there and really be able to like feel things from like a source perspective. And like Pisces there, like as I said in my Pisces video, they kind of have like a weaker composure, or like they're smaller, they're like a smaller type of fish, a smaller species of fish. In that aspect at least, because like it's the first little, you know, I don't know, it's just like that. The second decan is ruled by Cancer. It's the moon. So they're more about like nurturing others and being able to like understand things from like how an emotional mother would understand them, you know. Because they've been able to like dissolve the boundaries. Now they've seen that they want to take care of people in a way. And in the third decan is the decan of like a Scorpio. So they're ruled by Mars and Pluto. It's just a stronger kind of decan, you know. They create more of a sense of self because they're going to Aries soon. They're more penetrating in their energy. Could make them a little bit stronger, will have more vitality. Okay, so that's a 23 minutes video about the decans. I don't think anybody did a video like that, because I just said what I thought about them. You can kind of like make analogies to the sign that's representing them, the planets that are in there, if you want to make like connections like that, you know. So yeah, that's what I have to say. If you enjoy that shit, see you next time.